Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to today's community meeting. As always, please sign in if you'd like to. We'll do a project round robin. If you have any outreach or events that you'd like to call out, please do. Also, if you have any other business that's not covered by the project round robin, please add that, and then we'll have a chance at the end for introductions. Alrighty, so let's jump into it. First, we have some updates from the services side. There have been some new cuts for Recore and Fulcio. Bob, did you want to mention what was new in Recore?
I'm trying to remember what is new in Recore. I have to go pull the change log real quick. We had a couple bug fixes. Yeah, a couple bug fixes. I think was all that was in the 1.2.2 release. No substantively new function. But there's a interesting PR talking about adding a new pub/sub interface to Recore that James, who I believe is on this call, yeah, hey James, has contributed. So that I think goodness to come here hopefully shortly. And on the Fulcio side, the major updates were that we had not actually exposed any health check endpoints for either the HTTP nor the gRPC interfaces. And so when you deploy Fulcio into an environment like Kubernetes, that is suboptimal for knowing that the service is up and running just fine. So we now expose the standard endpoints, and the Helm charts associated with Fulcio have been updated as well to take advantage of that. And I don't know, Hayden, if you want to speak to the GitLab one.
Yeah, there was an update. We've been chatting with GitLab on updating one of the claims for build configuration. There was an issue that talked a lot more about this, but yeah, there was an update for that. So if you are relying on this recent change, there'll just be a change in what the expected value is. I think that's about it for Recore and Fulcio. Were there any updates from the cosine sides? Alrighty. Moving along, and I'll just say for everyone who just joined, we're just going through the project round robin. If you'd like to sign in, please do so. For git sign, for timestamping or the root, were there any updates?
Did you want to mention the drop in the timestamp interval?
Yeah, I called this out last week as something we were going to do. We have now completed this. So the tough timestamp lifetime has been reduced to 1 week. This is what this means is clients will have to poll a little more frequently since the timestamps were at 2 weeks previously. But this means in the event of key rotation or key compromise, we're able to respond more quickly. Your client's going to pick up the changes more quickly. We'd like to reduce the lifetime even lower than 1 week, but we're starting at 1 week for now. If you're integrated with Tough, you shouldn't notice this change. Perfect. And I might have cut somebody off earlier. Was somebody going to say something around cosine?
Hi, I'm Dmitry. It's my first time joining here. So I would say I have a pull request in cosine for the MTLS connection to timestamp authority, and Hayden is reviewing this. So if you have any corporate setup or timestamp authority, so that you run with certificates, so please try. It would be good to see if it works for you as well as for us. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Thanks for calling that out. I'll continue to take a look at that. And if anybody else would like to check out this PR, please do so. Alrighty. Clients. Zach, did you have an update?
Yeah, I can go ahead. So the SIG clients meeting met a couple hours ago. Please join us in those meetings or in the Pound clients channel on the Slack if you would like to join. They're open to everyone. Of particular interest to people working on per language client libraries. The big updates are, this isn't new since the last time, but we do have a roadmap available in the repository itself that kind of runs through our upcoming priorities, both focusing on Cosign as kind of an exemplar client and things we want to do to coordinate across clients. And then the other thing that's coming up lately has been a need for some kind of maturity model for clients. Because if we say, oh, there is a Sigstore Rust client, should I use it in production? I don't know. And can we articulate, sort of requirements in terms of both functionality, conformance with the test suite, code review processes, et cetera, that makes something kind of a blessed client. And one thing we've been having some discussion, we're gonna have a candidate model pretty soon. But one thing that definitely is gonna happen is having different kind of categories. I think it's totally plausible to have a client that's useful for verification without it implementing signing, for instance, and to have sort of separate axes of maturity for each category. So that's a high level report. In that group, we're trying to just do things that are useful in common across all of these clients in all of these languages. We're trying to do a few things that are going to make implementing clients in new languages a little bit easier. That includes having a good specification for what a client should do when signing and verifying. It's also going to include things like common data formats, like the Sigstore bundle. It's going to include things like telling people how to validate recore signatures offline. And Hayden, I know you've been pushing to move us away from the signed entry timestamps over towards actual validation of an inclusion proof, which is a little bit wonky, and we can discuss that offline if anyone wants to get into it. But sort of coordinating the rollout of those kinds of changes across clients has been kind of a key focus. And then we're thinking about no commitment yet, but would it be easier to potentially have a shared implementation that all of the clients in all the languages would be willing to use? We wouldn't require that all clients in all languages use it, but it does. It is starting to feel a little bit wasteful to re-implement a pretty complicated, verification workflow in, I think at latest count, like 7 or 8 different programming languages, and trying to make it so that Java experts can do what they know best, which is making things idiomatic for Java. And same for every other language. As appropriate, there might be constraints that prevent you from, kind of shipping external libraries or something as well. So that's another direction where we're going in. And another one is kind of more effort on this conformance testing library, which hopefully will be tied pretty tightly to that maturity model we mentioned. We should basically be able to throw that library throw the test suite at a library, hook it up properly, and it'll tell you, hey, you have implemented this level of support for signing and this level of support for verification or not. Yeah, so I think that's a high level update. Happy to take questions now or later, especially asynchronously in that client's channel.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that update. I'm really excited to see this. I think we've had this conversation a lot across different clients around maturity, and so I think having this in one place and finalizing these details will be really great. So if folks are interested, reach out on the clients channel. You can get involved with clients. Also, there's I think bi-weekly sync that should be linked from the repository. Or hop onto this issue. Alrighty. Were there any other updates for the clients? Moving along. Docs. Lisa or Patrick, do you have an update?
Yeah, I can give a quick update. It's not that much to report this week, but someone mentioned that people might be interested in a friction log that I wrote recently for one of the workflows, which is signing a blob. So I just put a link into the docs, and there's been some work going on with reorging the intro to the front matter and or the intro sections of the docs and so on lately. So.
Thanks for the update, and thanks for starting a friction log on this. I think that'll definitely help clean up the documentation.
In terms of docs, one thing that kind of on my wish list is to improve the docs about the KMS secrets for timestamp server. So I want to work on this, but if anyone kind of would be interested to cooperate or have examples or something, so please let me know or pin me. So this, I think it would be good to provide more extended information and examples and just because currently I'm a bit of pulling my hairs how to figure it out, how to set it up.
Is there an issue for that in the docs yet, or we can create an issue if you think that would be a good...
On the Sigstore timestamp server and search for KMS, the docs are kind of only for the Google Computing Cloud. And also, I find them a bit cryptic, and they say, "Oh, look at this program with you," and lots is left as exercise, I think, for the implement. And myself and my colleagues kind of finding ourselves a little bit baffled, and that slows us down with the kind of the Sigstore proof of concept even.
I'd encourage you to make an issue, even if it's just a very short one.
I will make an issue. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
We do have some general issues for Azure, GCP, and AWS, but I think it might be worth it to make your own issue here. But we would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for offering to help.
Another great step would be to put some example of some IAC, so like Terraform or something. So like, what could you do to set up the pieces that are needed to run like the setup, like say timestamping authority. So that's maybe the second step, but it's also that's something I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. So the good news there, we do have a Terraform repository, and I don't recall if we have stuff for the timestamp server. We might there. There are a lot of examples there. We also have a repository for Helm charts for spinning it up on Kubernetes.
Is it on the Sigstore direct GitHub organization?
It is, yes. I can link to both of those.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I'll definitely look there.
Yeah, this is also, I believe there's a open issue about improving the documentation around spinning up services locally. I think this is another thing that we can improve too. So just like these real quick. And yeah, and for the timestamp authority, feel free to also post anything in the timestamp authority repo too. When we created it, it was designed around a specific use case, which is why you'll kind of see a lot of the docs are focused on a specific use case of how we're spinning things up.
Another thing about the documentation, actually developer documentation, I don't know if you would agree that there might be room to improve the documentation on the like end-to-end tests, like how to what they do, how well something that beyond just reading the code, like give some guidance how to use them and also how to go about expanding. I also feel a bit.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say on that note that unfortunately cosign's end-to-end tests have grown quite large over time. It's definitely an area that we recognize needs some improvement. If folks have ideas of how to start teasing apart the tests, making it a little bit easier to understand, get involved, that would be great. Right now it's kind of grown in size. The hope is that we'll clean up a lot of this stuff when we rewrite some of the core logic within Sigstore Go. But there's definitely some opportunities to clean things up in the short term.
I think maybe we can start with Putin. I think there is no README file in the test directory, so we maybe just put a README file that does some description of what file and also some bigger pieces. So I can make an issue for this and also see if maybe working with someone who knows this better.
Yeah, that would be great. Really appreciate you diving into this. All righty, were there any other doc updates? Cool. Outreach and events. I don't believe we had any. We had a few CFPs close. I think Scored actually didn't have this. I think Scored's CFP might have gotten pushed back to tomorrow. So I think you might have one more day to submit to that. But besides that, I believe the rest have closed. Were there any other outreach or events on anyone's mind? Cool. Moving along. Any other business? Zach,
yeah, I
Meet.
put something there, which is just the old Google Meet. A lot of people, myself included, still have on our Google calendars the calendar event that was copied a while ago, and so a lot of people showed up to the old Meet today. So I don't know what, if anything, we can do about making sure people have the up to date link in their calendar. One thing might just be a reminder in Slack that we have updated it because I need a discrete event. Yeah, exactly. So like with instructions for, so like you have to go add you have to have the Sigstore community calendar added to your Google Calendar as an external calendar. But then for it to show up on the calendar you use every day, you need to like click and copy, and then it won't update ever again in the future. And so I need a reminder to at a discrete point in time to go ahead and do that. So I think, Hayden, the thing you said in Slack was good. It just might need like a follow-up that says, make sure that you have the right link on your personal calendar or something.
Yeah, definitely can do. Thanks for calling that out. The community calendar should have been updated. Someone pinged me this morning about the doc, so that's been updated, and the Slack channel where the Meet invite is linked at the top has been updated. I think that should be it. If you find it anywhere else, let me know. Also, it's worth noting office hours we updated to the same link also, so you'll have to do the same thing for office hours. So I will post another update in general, but for those here, let everyone know, new meeting invite. The old event, we've updated the Sigstore community calendar events. So there shouldn't be an old one shared anymore, I think. It would be if you've copied it to your personal calendar. That will never get updated, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. At least 10 or 15 people
Most
ran into today.
Yeah. I do the same.
Yeah, maybe for the next few weeks I'll do what I did, which is I'll join both and just redirect people over to this one, and we'll try to nip that problem in the bud.
Is the OpenSSF community calendar, is there another one besides Sigstore?
Yeah, there's one at the foundation level. We can just send an email to operations@openssf.org with the new link, and they'll change it.
I'll take care of that after. Thanks, I didn't realize there was another one too. And I'll also mention we're a little behind on posting recordings to YouTube, but we will try to get that to date very soon. Cool. Any other business? All right, so the last part of the meeting we reserve for introductions. If anyone would like to say hi, I know we've had a few folks say hi already in the chat. If anyone would like to speak up or say hi again, feel free to.
Hi, my name is Matt Wood. I'm joining this meeting for the first time, but I'm not unfamiliar with Sigstore. I'm looking at Sigstore from the potential of what would it take to implement something similar on an enterprise level for use within our CI system. So that's something I'm interested in seeing what the community is doing.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
I'll just say hi again. This is Lance Ball. I'm at Red Hat, and will be soon working with the team that's very active already in the Sigstore community. So I'm just kind of here to get my toes wet.
Welcome, Lance. Happy to have you.
I'll say hi. I'm Dmitry Savintsev from Yahoo. I'm a security engineer, we call paranoids engineering team, and I'm working on a cosine proof of concept.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm James Alseth. I work at Google, and I'm looking forward to contributing to Sigstore and the ecosystem. Mostly interested in things that make it easier to use for everyone.
Welcome, James. Alrighty. Well, really excited to have everyone new to the community. Thanks for joining. We have office hours next week, and then we'll have a community meeting again 2 weeks from now. See y'all then.